It's first nice evening in about a week here with the sun actually out, so I thought I would just go and sit with Mr. Buddy and yeah, get everything up to date on here. I can get in. The sun's actually literally just gone in as I've come out, but thought I would come and sit with Mr. Buddy. Hello. Buddy. Buddy, the fence is on, darling. It's on. Buddy's on. Buddy's on. I thought I would do a little update video on Buddy because a lot has changed since I last posted before my video this week. Basically, Buddy is now retired from all competition for the foreseeable future. Originally we were looking for a loan home for Buddy, as we were never selling, but it ended up being that he's just too happy here, so we think we figured out a horse share for him, but we'll just see how that goes. But for the summer he is still being ridden at home by me and my mum. So basically, to get into why the decision suddenly came about, for a long time coming, Buddy sort of was always very nervous going to a show, and we always put it down to bad behaviour. But after I had my instructor ride him and keep him at their yard a couple of times for a couple of shows, and he would occasionally go well, and occasionally then I'm getting really close. He just loves having his bum by me, but yeah, he would occasionally go really well, and then sometimes just throw a stop in, and nothing you could do. And he's always been like that ever since I've had him, and I got him knowing that he could put an occasional stop in, and yeah, it was just last season I sort of thought we were getting somewhere. It was definitely more consistent. Sometimes he'd still go into the first round and be a little bit naughty, maybe have a look at something or wobble at something, but by the second round he was sort of in it, ready to go, and we'd get a clear almost every time, if not a pole or something. A clear in my mind is no refusal, so we were going clear quite a lot last season. Came into the winter, took him to an arena high indoors, probably the most nervous he's gone, and generally he's quite good indoors. Took him to shows and we got eliminated indoors quite a lot at the same place over and over. Which is when we sent him to my instructor's yard to go for a bit of schooling, and again at their yard he went really well, like jumping over water trays and everything like that. So stepping him up to 110 was going to be the aim for over the winter, and my knees really hurt over the winter, and just didn't end up sort of happening because he was just so inconsistent. And then made the decision to sort of give him a break over the winter. I stopped jumping him for a good month, and then sort of midway through January brought him back into jumping, and he seemed like really up for it. But again, at home he always seems to go well. Took him to a training show in February, I think it was, late February, and he went really, really well, like probably the best he's ever gone away from home. And training shows basically the same thing, apart from the buzzer doesn't go off. It's literally all that, and obviously you don't get eliminated if you have a refusal or circles or things like that. And yeah, he went clear. He got a pole, and he got a pole in both actually, but he went clear as far as I'm concerned. Sort of, flew around everything, was absolutely loving it, and he was quite spooky in the corners, but just the jumps just weren't phasing him. And then gave it a few weeks, and then took him back to the same place for a show, and he was not having any of it. Jumped beautifully in the practice like he always does, and then when it's the ring just wouldn't even go over the first fence. And I haven't had that issue with Buddy for quite a long time, like since I first got him was the first fence an issue like that. And yeah, I eventually got him over it after we got eliminated, but he sort of tumbled over it and we nearly had a rotational fall. And after that point, when sort of mine and his safety was sort of putting into question, because although he's backed off of things, he's generally quite clever with his feet, and he was just so sluggish. And I just said to Mum, he started to sort of not shy away from getting in the box, but he just wasn't, I've never had a problem with loading Buddy, and he also started to go a bit sour to get in the box, and this was only just after his break, and I kept sort of giving a bash at it, but it just sort of didn't end up. And after that day, I just sort of thought, just not worth, upsetting him over. He's obviously not enjoying it like I thought he was. And it's been 4 years of me trying to get Buddy to where what I originally bought him for, and what I originally wanted to do with him. And it's just, we've achieved a lot, but it's always been sort of in and out of sort of disasters here and there. And when I say disaster, I just mean, a day where you just get eliminated, you have to go home. And then me and Mum had a conversation and just said, I had Charlie coming along at the time, and I was just sort of getting him out and competing. We'd been to one show at that point, I think, and I just sort of made the decision, I'll focus on Charlie, retire Buddy from competition, and if an opportunity with another horse comes along, then maybe I'll take it. And it was all very up in the air at that point, and this was just coming into the season, so I was upset because I'd taken a gap year to jump Buddy, but that's horses for you. I mean, they don't always go to plan. Oh, and before anyone says anything, when Buddy did nearly have the rotational, I did have him fully vetted, fully examined by my vet. I had his eyes checked, I had his back checked, he's had physio out, I had his soundness check, he did a trot up, he did flexion, he did everything I can possibly think of. Hello. And there is literally nothing wrong with this horse. He is the clean bill of health. Buddy! Hello. Yes, he's very happy and healthy. Just doesn't want to get in the box and go round the jumps at a show, do ya? So yeah. He is still being jumped and everything at home. I gave him a month, nearly 2 months off after everything happened, just because of my confidence. The plan is to just give Buddy to my mum, and obviously I'm riding him at the moment alongside Mum, and I've just recently started jumping him again, which he's loving, so I'll keep that up at home, and then hopefully once I'm off to uni in September, it will be a sharer and Mum, just ticking him over, taking him over some jumps occasionally, hacking, everything like that. He's really enjoyed it, and it's very funny because it must have been stressing him out, because he's literally been a different horse since he boxes up in the lorry now to go as a show companion for Charlie if it's a longer journey, but yeah, he boxes up straight away. He loves going out, and he's so chilled, like probably the most chilled he's ever been, like to handle and riding, even jumping. He's just sort of like taking it all in his stride rather than getting pent up about it, and yeah, it's just nice to see him happy with the pressure off. He's coming back over to say goodbye. But yeah, that's it. I don't know how this video is going to look. I'm literally just sitting in a field and my legs are really hurting now, but yeah, I thought I would just sort of do a proper update video and go into detail as to why it just wasn't working, and I'll put a couple of clips in of probably me and Buddy's best bits, which will be nice to look back on as well. Yeah, he's a very happy boy, and that's the most important.
Too stuck in the air, the way you keep playing me no fair.